Cinematic iPhone vlogs are not about fancy gear or complicated rigs. They're about getting the basics right. In this video, I'm going to show you my simple iPhone vlogging setup and workflow so you can get smoother footage, cleaner audio, and a more cinematic look without overthinking it. Now here's the thing. While you can film everything just with your iPhone, using a proper gear helps improve the shooting experience and gives your video an overall more cinematic look. And one of the best things about iPhone filmmaking is that the accessories are much more affordable than traditional camera gear. And it's important to keep things really simple and not get overwhelmed by it. Focus on a few essential tools that make the biggest difference. And this right here is the current vlogging setup I'll be using, which works really well. So let me break it down for you. First is the case. I'm using the Moment case for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It protects my phone, looks really cool, and more importantly, it lets me attach a VND filter. What I really like about this filter is that it does not stick out, which keeps the setup pocket friendly. This filter helps create a natural motion blur, which is one of the key things that makes a video look more film-like. And I'll explain this more when we get into the camera settings. Next is audio. I'm using the DJI Mic Mini, and by connecting the receiver and attaching the transmitter to my shirt, I can record quality audio wirelessly without any cables. Now DJI also offers a smaller and more pocket-friendly transmitter, but because of the thickness of this case, it does not fit. So I used the standard transmitter instead. And last is the mobile gimbal, the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. And this gimbal is great for vlogging because of its fast setup time. And when used with a backpack strap mount, you can access it quickly while keeping your pockets free. What's really cool is that I can keep the magnetic phone clamp on my iPhone and attach it in seconds. It also gives me smoother footage and more creative shots thanks to the built-in extension pole and tripod legs. Most importantly, it lets me vlog using the rear camera with the AI tracker, which keeps me centered in the frame while filming. And you can easily fit this whole setup in a bag. And by the way, you will find all product linked in the video description below. So these are the essential tools I'll be using. Everyone's setup is different and will also change over time. I find this a great, simple setup if you're serious about creating cinematic vlogs with your iPhone. So let's move on to the camera settings. For more professional looking results, I like to use the Blackmagic camera app. It's free and gives you full control over your iPhone camera. Let us start with the resolution and frame rate. Set the resolution to 4K. This gives you the highest quality and also lets you crop in a bit when editing without losing much detail. For frame rate, I use 25 frames per second. If you're in the US, you can also use 24. And this records normal speed video. If you want slow motion for things like B-roll, switch to 50 or 60 frames per second so you can slow those shots down later. Next, set the codec to HEVC H.265 so you do not waste storage space. Then set the color space to Apple Log 2. This gives you a more natural looking image by reducing the digital sharpening that the iPhone usually adds. Now the image will look flat at first, but that's normal. It just means that the camera is capturing more dynamic range, and it also gives you more control when you color grade. Because log footage looks flat, it can be hard to judge the exposure while filming. To make this easier, turn on the Rec 709 neutral LUT. Now this does not change your final footage. It only gives you a nicer looking preview while you shoot. When you import the clips into your editing app, they will still be flat. Later, I'm going to show you how to convert them and add a look in Luma Fusion right on your iPhone. Now for most shots, I use the main 1X camera, which is the 24mm lens. It has the largest sensor and gives you the best quality. You can use the other lenses too, just make sure you're shooting in good lighting conditions. Now for motion blur, set the shutter speed to 180 degree. And this means your shutter speed is double your frame rate. So if you shoot at 25 frames per second, the shutter speed will be 1/50. And this gives you that natural cinematic looking motion blur. You can use shutter angle or shutter speed. It does not really matter. The app will automatically adjust when you change the frame rate. For example, if you switch from 25 to 50 frames per second, it will change the shutter from 150 to 1/100 so the motion blur stays natural. When you use a 180 degree shutter, the image can get too bright, especially outdoors. And to fix this, first lower your ISO to the lowest value so you do not add noise. Then adjust your VND filter to block more light. To fine-tune your exposure, you can use helpful tools like false color. I usually expose for my skin tones and keep them in the green and purple range. Next, turn on lock white balance on record so your colors do not shift while filming. Also turn on grid lines to help with composition, and turn on the level tool if you're shooting handheld so your shots stay straight. For stabilization, I set it to standard, which works really well together with the gimbal for smooth footage. For audio, simply connect the DJI Mic Mini receiver to your iPhone. In the audio settings, select it as your main audio source. Set your level so it does not peak, ideally between -6 and -12 dB. I keep the receiver gain at 0 and set the audio gain level in the Blackmagic camera app to around 80%. And this works well when the mic is placed on the upper chest. I also recommend enabling safety track in the DJI Mimo app so you get a lower volume backup in case your audio clips. And when you're recording outdoors, always use a windshield to avoid wind noise. So there you have it. These are the most important settings you need to dial in. If you made it this far, you're already on the right path to creating cinematic vlog videos. Now, before you press record, take a moment to think about the story you want to tell. A good vlog works best when it has a clear beginning, middle, and end. For example, you might start with a goal like packing for a trip or catching a train, and you can add a bit of tension like forgetting something or running late, and then finish the moment you arrive. Of course, some of the best moments happen spontaneously and are not planned at all, and that is part of what makes vlogging fun. But having a loose idea of where a story is going helps you know what to film and makes it easier to turn those random moments into something that feels like a real story. Now, your A-roll is the foundation of your vlog. The first thing I do is set the exposure. A simple trick is to hold your hands in front of the camera where you will be standing and adjust the exposure until your skin tone lie in the skin tone areas when using the false color tool. Next, check that your mic is connected and that the audio is recording inside the Blackmagic camera app. Do a quick test by talking normally and make sure that it does not hit the red area. Once that is set, press the record button, and you can do this directly on the Flow 2 Pro if you have your iPhone connected to it via Bluetooth. I also recommend using the extension pole so that you can stand a bit further away from the camera. Then press the trigger button 3 times to flip to the rear camera, then press it again to activate the AI tracker. And there you have it. This is how you can record your A-roll properly. I'm using the rear camera on my iPhone 17 Pro Max. I'm also using the Moment case with their VND filter. I have the DJI Mic Mini receiver attached so I can record high quality audio without needing any cables. The transmitter is attached to my jacket. So let me show you how well this gimbal stabilizes the entire setup when walking around and vlogging. So I also have the internal stabilization enabled on the Blackmagic camera app. I'm using standard. And I also have the AI tracker enabled, which keeps me centered in the frame when I move my head. Now, I do recommend that you first set your tracking position using the joystick so that you're happy with the framing, and you can use the selfie mirror for that, which works really well. Now I'm using the 24mm lens, which I really like due to the shallow depth of field that it creates. And I do wish that it was a bit wider, so I definitely recommend using the selfie stick and also stretching your arm a bit further. But keep in mind that this can be tiring over time. So I usually keep my arms a bit angled, and this way I can vlog for longer. I could use the ultra wide angle lens, but however, for the highest quality, the 24mm lens will give you the best results. What's also really cool is that I can place the gimbal on the ground and record myself hands-free. And because I'm using the DJI Mic Mini, I don't need any cables and can still capture high-quality audio from a distance. Now, I don't have the AI tracker enabled. A static shot looks great too, but if I do want to enable the tracking, I can just hold up my palm and the LED light turns green, and now the tracking is enabled, which allows me to also show my surroundings and keep me centered in the frame, which is pretty cool. Once you're finished your A-roll, always review your clip. Make sure that the exposure, the framing looks good, and that the audio sounds clear. Getting this right makes the rest of your vlogs much easier to edit. The thing about talking to the camera is that it will always feel a bit awkward, at least for me. But there are a few small things that really help. And the biggest one is simply doing it more. The more you talk to the camera, the easier it gets and the more natural your flow becomes. What I like to do is to think of the camera like a friend I'm talking to. And that mindset alone makes a big difference. I also always try to be myself, even though that's not always possible. People don't want perfection. They want to connect with a real person. And if you mess up a sentence or lose a train of thought, that is totally fine. You can always edit out the bad parts later on. Now, another tip is to also look at the lens and not somewhere else so that the viewers feel like you're talking directly to them. Also, if filming in public makes you feel nervous, try to find a quiet spot. I do that all the time because I don't love vlogging in crowded places, to be honest. But it's also good to practice vlogging in crowded areas. In reality, most people don't really care. They'll look for a second, but they'll eventually move on. Now, if you ever run out of things to say, just talk about what you're doing, where you are, and what you're about to do next. Share what you're thinking or what you're excited about, and those little moments are what make a vlog feel real. So yeah, just do that. B-roll is what makes your vlog videos feel engaging and cinematic. It's the extra footage that shows what you're talking about. Your A-roll tells the story, your B-roll shows it. And a great rule to follow when filming B-roll is the 3-shot rule: a wide, medium, and close-up. Wide shots show the location and set the scene. Medium shots show the action, and close-up shots show the details. Getting all three gives you proper coverage and makes your edit much easier. You can also use different focal lengths on the back of your iPhone to help with this. Every time you talk about something, think about what you could film to support it. If you talk about going somewhere, film yourself walking, opening a door, or getting inside the car, or arriving. Now, you can shoot your B-roll either handheld or with a gimbal. I often like to shoot handheld for static shots and just let the action happen in front of the camera. It's also great for capturing quick moments if you don't have time to set up. Now, when I want more dynamic shots with movements, I switch to the gimbal. It just makes it so much easier to keep the horizon leveled while creating your smooth camera movements. Now, no matter which way you shoot, move slowly and keep your shots steady. The best part about using a gimbal is that you can use it to get steady footage, but also be more creative with your shots. You can start off with simple camera moves like slow push-ins, pullbacks, and reveal shots. And these small movements add life to your footage and make it feel more professional. Even a slow move around an object or a person can make a simple scene look much more interesting. The Flow 2 Pro also lets you create crane-style shots. With its free tilt mode, you can smoothly move the camera up or down, which is great for revealing a location or adding a dramatic shot. It also supports barrel roll moves where you rotate the phone to create a more dynamic look. That said, you don't need to use every feature all the time. Like I said, simple shots are also great that will make your videos more engaging. Now, quick tip when operating with your gimbal is to walk heel to toe, sometimes also called the ninja walk. This way you get the smoothest results. Do not assume that just because you're using a gimbal, your shots will automatically look perfect. So learn the ins and outs of your gimbal and practice walking heel to toe, and your B-rolls will instantly feel more cinematic. Next is to use music to set the mood. Music is one of the fastest ways to make your vlogs feel cinematic. It sets the mood, adds emotion, and gives your videos a rhythm. But the wrong music can also throw everything off, even if the footage looks great. For example, if you put fast, energetic music under a calm, quiet moment, it feels strange. So always try to match the music to what is happening on the screen, or in other words, what you want the audience to feel. And by the way, I get most of my music from Artlist. They are not sponsoring this video, but I have been using them for years because their music is high quality and royalty free, which makes things simple and stress-free when uploading to YouTube. And last, but certainly not least, is to show up and keep it simple. The hardest part of vlogging is not camera settings or editing. It is getting started and staying consistent. Creating videos is like training your muscle. If you do not use it, it gets weaker. And if you show up regularly, it gets stronger. Vlogging is not about using every feature or every trick. It's about doing a few things well over and over. Keep your vlogs simple and natural. Don't worry about making every video perfect. A bit of imperfection is human, and viewers will actually connect more with that. What matters most is to turn your filming into a habit. The creators who grow are not the ones with the most gear or the fanciest effects. They are the ones who keep showing up. If you stay consistent, I promise you your style, your confidence, and quality will improve on their own. Now, before I end this video, I actually have a bonus tip for you. I want to show you how I quickly color grade my Apple log footage in Luma Fusion using my iPhone. So this way you can apply the final look to your vlogs and create a cinematic look. Luma Fusion is a one-time purchase of around $30, but I find it totally worth it. It comes with many advanced editing tools and features that make it easy to turn your clips into polished, professional looking videos. So we're now inside Luma Fusion, and the first thing we're going to do is create a project. I'm going to hit the plus icon and I'm going to leave everything how it is. Select the plus icon again to create our project. Next up is I'm going to import the A-roll. I'm going to head over to these three dots and then select import media. I'm going to choose files app and I'm going to select the Blackmagic Cam since that is what I recorded my vlogs in. I'm going to select the media. I'm going to choose this one right here and I'm going to select open. And now I can select the clip, choose an in and out point. I'm just going to choose this part for now and I'm going to select this icon and this will bring it into our timeline. I'm going to zoom out a bit. The next thing I'm going to do is double tap on the clip and then head over to color and effects. And then I'm going to select the box icon up here and then head down. And in this section, we can convert it to a normal looking video. And you can either choose Apple D-Log or Prolos Apple Log Rec 709. My favorite one is this. And you can already see by selecting it, it converts it to a normal looking image. Now this already looks really good, but we can add a look to it. And to do that, let's head up here and you can see I've imported my premium mobile LUTs, which I'll leave a link below for you to check out if you're interested in getting the LUT pack. For this, I'm going to choose the Blockbuster look and then we're going to minimize this tab and then bring this on top of the Prolos conversion LUT. This way, when I open the Blockbuster LUT, I can head down to the blend mode and reduce it as it's too intense to around 0.7. This looks good to me. The next thing I'm going to do is adjust the highlight and contrast a bit. So I'm going to minimize this and then head to the painting icon. I'm going to select original and down here I can add a bit of contrast if I want to. So let's just add a bit of contrast. And I'm also going to increase the brightness just a little bit. Just like that. Now I'm going to make this image a bit warmer. So I'm going to push it a bit towards red. Down here a bit more towards yellow. I'm also just going to increase the brightness over here. So that is the final look. So if you look at the before and after, I first applied a conversion LUT, then I've applied the LUT, and then I've adjusted the exposure as well as contrast and white balance. And you can also save this as a preset by selecting the star icon over here, naming your preset, and then selecting the star icon on the top right. This way you don't have to do this all over again. If you want your iPhone vlogs to look cinematic, it really comes down to doing the basics right and doing them consistently. You do not need more gear, a bigger camera, or complicated setup. You just need a simple system and the habit of showing up. Everything you learned in this video can be used right away with your own iPhone. And if you want to go deeper, I also have a full online smartphone filmmaking course where I break down shooting, editing, color grading, and storytelling step by step. You'll find the link in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your vlog. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.